investments. Ladies and gentlemen, a fund entrusted with the wealth of generations must itself be worthy of that trust. That is why this Act places governance, transparency, and accountability at its very heart. The Sovereign Wealth Fund will belong not to my administration, but to the Republic of Kenya. It will be managed according to the law, our Constitution, and the enduring interests of the Kenyan people. The Act provides for independent professional management, strong parliamentary oversight, and transparent public reporting and robust auditing. Every shilling must be accounted for. Every decision must be guided by prudence. Every investment must be measured by the legacy it leaves for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, history seldom remembers nations for resources they possessed. It remembers them for the choices they made with those resources. The nations that achieve lasting prosperity share one defining characteristic. They think beyond the present. They plan in decades, not election cycles. They build institutions that endure across administrations and across generations. Permit me to express my appreciation that today Kenya chooses, History, as I said, seldom remembers nations for resources they possessed. It remembers them for the choices they made in the use of those resources. The nations that achieve lasting prosperity share one defining characteristic. They think beyond the present, they plan in decades, not in election cycles, and they build institutions that endure beyond administrations and across generations. Permit me to express my appreciation to the National Assembly and the Senate for the diligence, patriotism, and sense of national purpose with which they have passed this legislation. You have not merely passed laws, you have laid the legislative foundations of a transformation that will outlive every one of us. History will remember you not as the parliament that debated Kenya's future, but one that legislated it into being. These laws will strengthen our financial system, modernize our economy, and lay foundations upon which future generations will continue to build. Today, Kenya chooses that discipline. We choose to save, to invest, to preserve, to build, and above all, we choose to honor the constitutional covenant that binds one generation to the next. The question history will ask us is not what we inherited, but what we bequeathed the next generation. And I want to appreciate the leadership of the Speaker, the speakers of both houses, the people of Kenya who came with ideas, the private sector players who informed the public participation, and the bipartisan engagement in Parliament. It went beyond sides. the entire House came together to build consensus on what we do with our present as we focus and connect it to the future. I must say, I appreciate Parliament's role in the last 3 years. The Speaker has said here very ably what we have managed to achieve in the space around our economy and the transformation that we have undertaken from the housing fund through the social health insurance fund to the primary health fund to the emergency fund to all the other transformational legislation from government-owned enterprises, Privatization Act, National Infrastructure Fund, now Sovereign Wealth Fund, and all the other pieces of legislation that have been undertaken by Parliament. Every proposal we have taken to Parliament has been subjected to the people's views in public participation, to parliamentary debate, and strengthened in the process. And we can proudly say today, while 3 years ago we were staring at a default, while 3 years ago I sat in room 6 here with my very able team, to which I am very grateful to them. And we had dollar reserves of just 2.5 months of import cover, about $5.7 billion. Today, Tuga is sitting in our midst here, our governor. Our foreign exchange reserves is going now to maybe 7 months of import cover. I think just yesterday or the day before, we are almost tripling our foreign exchange reserves in Kenya. That is extraordinary. And I want to thank these great men and women who have assisted me in putting this together with a lot of courage and with a lot of focus. Numbers are beginning to show. Just yesterday, or is it the day before, UNCTAD released their report, and Kenya has increased its foreign direct investment from $1.5 billion 3 years ago to $3.2 billion today. And we are moving. I have asked the Deputy President to chair the government committee that is going to work with private sector investors and players for what will be one of the largest investments in our country. The investment in the East African oil refinery, a 2.2 trillion shilling investment in our country. And we have already set a date for the groundbreaking, just for your information. So, we are taking steps in making sure that we take our country. When we say we are moving this country to a first world status, we want to match our commitment with our actions. May history record that we honor the trust placed in our generation, not by exhausting our nation's resources, but by preserving, growing, and expanding them. May future generations look upon this moment, and representatives of that future generation are here with us this morning, and say they did not consume our inheritance. They secured it. They did not merely govern for their time, they governed for us as well. God bless you all. God bless Kenya. And I wish you all the very best this moment. Asanteni sana. And to all our friends who have come here, I know there are many actors. My good friend Tadese from TDB Bank here. Our good friends from IFC are here. From the World Bank are here. Our good friends from ATD are here. All the good people from, I see the new chairman of the Nairobi Stock Exchange or Securities Exchange here, Mr. Mulwa, and the immediate former is here, and many other people who are here. I see many fund managers. I see many pension fund people here, many people from the banks. If there was a moment we are discussing real money, this is the moment. And we are discussing it with the right people. And I am very confident about the economic future of our country. I think the more we pull together, the more we understand what we are doing, listening to all the captains of our financial institutions here, from the pension funds all the way to the banks, it gives me a lot of confidence that we are now in sync.